Today in wrestling, AEW has made a massive announcement. A new partnership is on the rise. I'm going to tell you guys whether I think it is good or bad and what to expect. Also, in addition to that, you may have noticed ROH has announced a new match for Ring of Honor Supercard, FTR versus the Briscoes. I'm going to tell you guys some of the plans that might be floating around. Also, in addition to that, NWA has revealed a new championship belt, and we're going to discuss it in today's video. As always, I want to keep you updated with everything that is happening in pro wrestling, and I'll give you my reaction accordingly. And if you guys want more videos like this, don't forget to click that subscribe button, ring that bell, and tune into the conversation. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. This right here is the new NWA World's Junior Heavyweight Championship belt. This belt was announced by NWA over the weekend. Billy Corgan's new partnership with FanDuel Belts is literally coming to life as this new belt has been revealed. We're going to take a look at it again in just a second, but I want to talk about this because, as you know, NWA is looking to crown the championship winner. And, I think there's a lot of people who they're kind of torn with NWA and its product. The nostalgia factor in 2022 is something I've seen heavily argued as something that works against NWA, which is unfortunate because I like what they've been doing in terms of a creative standpoint, in terms of, the business decision to put the world's title on Matt Cardona. Obviously, there's an opportunity right now for a few significant wrestlers to obviously have a chance to win this belt. You have Colby Corino, you have Darius Lockhart, you have Homicide, and then you have Austin Aries. Colby Corino has been seen doing some great work on NWA. And then, of course, Darius Lockhart is somebody that a lot of people are talking about. When it comes to this NWA World's Junior Heavyweight Championship belt, I think the belt design is actually somewhat nice. Typically when we look at belts from pro wrestling, Belts by Dan is one that typically a lot of companies use, or a Wildcat. Those are two of the companies I see that are being used mostly. Now, with that being said, this belt does have a very interesting look. It almost resembles like a boxing championship belt for some reason. But I think this looks really classy. It's really nice. And honestly, it's nice to see that there is something different, right? WWE has their championship belts that typically they look like a WWE toy, right? You look at AEW and they look like they got professional wrestling championship belts. And then if you look at Impact Wrestling, they have very nice looking championship belts. And might I add, you got to talk about ROH. Those championship belts are also very nice as well. So it's cool to see that NWA is adding their junior heavyweight championship belt. Again, I think it looks nice. I don't know what the KF stands for. That was something I didn't understand. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more to be talked about. But for those that were interested, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. By now, you may have heard the news of FTR versus the Briscoes. Obviously, Tony Khan announced this on ROH's social media. Ring of Honor has announced Briscoes versus FTR. Now, there is a lot of stuff floating on the internet about the Briscoes, who will not be coming to AEW anytime soon because of Warner Media. But ROH, we don't know anything about their TV deal. We don't know where it's going to be streaming. We don't know if ROH will just be used Honor Club. There's a lot of questions here. And obviously, a lot of people are confused as to why Briscoes are defending these championship belts against FTR when there is a likelihood that Briscoes might not be able to be involved with them in any capacity outside of this. Now, if ROH is not part of Warner Media, which I think is very unlikely, I think it's going to be part of Warner Media. I don't think Warner Media would ever allow Tony Khan, who owns two wrestling companies, to have two different companies literally on two different television networks. It wouldn't make sense from a business standpoint, and I feel like that would sour the relationship with, of course, Warner Media. Now, with that being said, there is rumors floating around that AEW, Tony Khan, and ROH, all of them will be doing some sort of reset with the ROH brand. So there's this rumor that is floating around. There's no confirmation just yet, but there's this belief that ROH is going to completely reset after this. This will be a transitional show. Now, whether that means new championship belts getting vacated or whatnot, there's a lot of questions up in the air, and I think that's where the issue comes into play. Deonna Purrazzo doesn't know what's going on. Nobody really knows what is going on here. I love that AEW set up this match, or Tony Khan, ROH, whatever. a lot of people are telling me AEW didn't buy ROH. I don't really know like the legalities of it, but I think it would be very, very stunning to see that AEW Wrestling allowed Tony Khan, the owner of the company, to announce the purchase of another wrestling company that has no association with AEW. It's just not likely. There is some sort of association there. Obviously, we know ROH talent. There's none of them that are signed to the company, but there's a lot of talent signed to the AEW company, which are expected to be used for this event anyways. So it's definitely a transitional show. If Briscoes win, it's going to be really interesting to see how AEW, ROH, and Tony Khan move forward. If FTR wins, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. They'll be defending those belts on TV. So let's see what happens, but it's very interesting stuff for sure. Guys, Christopher Daniels, the Executive Vice President of Talent Relations. He is AEW's VP of Talent Relations. He has come out with a message letting the world know that AEW and DDT Pro Wrestling is now entering a partnership. And within this partnership, AEW has come to an agreement to bring DDT's wrestlers to the USA. And they are looking to showcase this audience, showcasing this talent to the AEW audience. Now, you might be wondering, why would they do this? Well, obviously, AEW is all about the forbidden door and opening relationships and stuff like that, which is great. But we are entering the world of streaming. AEW is looking at streaming. We talked about the rumors before. There's rumors of Joshi wrestling content coming to AEW streaming. Obviously, ROH, Honor Club. You know, I'm just saying, don't be shocked if for some reason DDT Pro Wrestling is in the fray of AEW in their content library. And I think the way to do that is by starting to introduce the talent to fans now, because not everybody knows who DDT Pro Wrestling is. Not everybody knows what's going on there. But obviously, Kenny Omega has huge ties to DDT Pro Wrestling as well. So, look, I think anytime a wrestling company announces a partnership with another company, it's good. You know, when WWE brought in Evolve and Progress and ICW into the WWE network, I understand a lot of people didn't like that deal, but to be honest, I don't really see a difference between that and what AEW has done with other wrestling companies, right? Working with other wrestling companies is always beneficial to the industry, okay? And, you know, I see a lot of times people argue this, oh, maybe AEW is trying to buy up the indie market, they're trying to do this, they're trying to do that. No, I think AEW is just becoming a hub where you can have open relationships with other companies and you could come together and put out shows. And I think it would be nice if WWE started doing more of that. We saw Mickie James being acknowledged as the Impact champion, which was awesome, but there should be more. And that's not just on WWE. I think AEW as well. You know, I want to see more AEW talent on these other shows. That's the truth. I want to see AEW talent on Impact. You know, Sammy Guevara didn't show up there. We saw Kenny Omega. We saw Christian Cage, but I want to see more. And I want AEW talent to go to DDT. I want AEW talent to go to NJPW. You know, I want a mix of both, and I want Impact talent in AEW. I think that's beautiful, and I think they really need to push that envelope, and this is the start of something like that happening. Obviously, DDT is not on the big scale in terms of like viewership and everything. It's a lot different, right? But I don't think that matters. I think what you can see out of this is quality wrestling, and I think you're going to see some fun stuff, and I think that's going to be really fun. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I'll see you next time.